over to Orchard Park, where Deion Dawkins saying that they have the upper hand here. We get to go eat buffalo wings, and they have to travel to us. They do so, and they get the win. The Tyler Bass missed 44-yarder. We don't get to see a classic overtime game between these two elite quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. We also don't get to see if Josh Allen can finally defeat the overtime allegations. He cannot defeat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. 3-1 in the regular season, 0-3 now in the playoffs. The two things I want to mention here are the big deep ball, aggressive call on first down to Stephon Diggs just dropped. I know it was a little bit off to that right shoulder, but still a catchable ball for a player of his caliber.
The height on that ball was insane. I mean,
unreal.
If there was a roof on that stadium, it would have hit it. I mean, he put everything he had into that. What a beautiful throw. And like the amount of bitching that Diggs does, man, like that's one you gotta get. You have to come down with that.
And then the other one is the 3rd and 6. And I believe that was second down. It was 2nd and 6 or 3rd and 6. And the check down, wide open check down underneath to Stephon Diggs. He's catching that in stride, for maybe a 4-yard catch. He's running that an extra 10 yards out of bounds at that point. There's your first down right there. There is the first down. I don't understand why we had to go for it all and kind of throwing a ball that was not even close to Khalil Shakir, I think is where he was trying to go. Why do you go for hero ball back-to-back on 2nd and 3rd down there, end zone plays? We have the first down. Just get the first down. You can control the game at that point. You have the clock on your side. We win the game with that first down there. I don't get it.
So we'll work backwards here because there was obviously a lot of stuff that happened before this that needs to be talked about. But if you start with the last drive, I don't mind the second down look. Like I think Chris Jones was the one bringing all the pressure on the left side and essentially just bulldozed their left tackle into Josh Allen, and like he hit him just enough to alter that throw a little bit. Like a half second earlier, like that's probably a touchdown. Like Shakir's open, they get the coverage they want. Shakir is open in the end zone. Allen just misses him. He gets, like Tony Romo was just slurping him the whole game. They made it sound like he got rocked. God. But when you watch it, like it threw him off just a little bit, and they just missed him. But like again, I don't mind them going for the win there if he has an open receiver. And again, Shakir's open in the middle of the end zone. I have a lot of issues with the 3rd down play because at that point, again, you need that Bass has had some issues this year. He's a somewhat reliable kicker, but it's probably the worst year of his career. You're in Buffalo. That wind is swirling. I mean, it's a tough environment. Factor in the pressure element of it all. Like you have to get 5-6 yards on 3rd down no matter what. And I definitely put that on. I definitely put that on Josh Allen. But I also think like this is where it just gets tough. But like the way that they were managing the clock down the stretch just didn't really make sense. I get it. You don't want to give Mahomes too much time to be able to come back and do what Mahomes does there. But like, dude, you're still trailing. Like these 3 points aren't automatic. And if you play it properly, you can essentially score like a walk-off touchdown here. And like, I think there was they got a first down, and then I can't remember if it was like the play that got them the first down or if their first down play on the last series. Like it was like 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. They let it run all the way down to the 2-minute warning, and then the last drive. It just felt like I felt like there wasn't a plan. They didn't know if they were playing for 3 or playing for a touchdown. And I feel like the clock, the way they managed the clock, just felt so clunky. But I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't think you can't put this game on Josh Allen. I'm seeing a whole lot of like Josh Allen hate and criticism again, and I feel like a lot of my opinions are based off of just like the immediate reaction and Discord, and like that Mooney gang was crucifying Josh Allen, and Josh Allen balled out, dude. I mean, he did everything he could. He made very, very few mistakes. Again, I think you can certainly criticize the decision making on that 3rd down play to an extent, maybe the 2nd down. But again, I didn't mind the look to Shakir. They almost had it, but like. Without Josh Allen, I mean, they get blown out in this game. He balled out. He played his ass off. They couldn't stop him running the ball. But it just like that. The way that they managed that last drive, from the decisions on 2nd and 3rd down, from the way that they managed the clock, and then like it just felt like they were in the driver's seat, and they essentially played for a 44-yard field goal, and it just like you had other options there. So, and it's so fitting. I mean, you got to feel gutted. You got to feel credit for Bill's Mafia, man.
Right, I mean,
wide right. I mean, shout out Scott Norwood. I mean, it's unbelievable that's what this comes down to. But
you did see that wind kind of like murk that. Like that.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like it was right down off the foot. It was right down the middle. Right down the middle, and then it looked like in the span of like 3 yards, it had
just
no shot.
Whipped right. I mean, that was nuts.
Right. But again, you had ample opportunity to do again. I think it was a 44-yarder, like with a little bit of brain power. That's a 38-yarder, and it's much more manageable here. And I think on third down, Allen just got way too aggressive.
No, you hit the nail on the head. I watched the highlights back, and they did an aerial view on that third down play. And as Josh Allen's kind of trying to roll to the right and make a hero play the end zone, Kincaid is just wide open over the middle. He wasn't at the sticks, but it's just a way shorter play, and he might have been able to get the first down too. This game was everything you could have asked for. Absolute cinema at Orchard Park. It's rocking. They're throwing snowballs. I have my own opinions about that, but I like how it asked to
those Eagles fans, man. Those Eagles fans went to Buffalo and were throwing snowballs at the Chiefs players, man. Those dirty, stinking Eagles fans.
They're just the worst. You know what I'm saying? Added to the flavor of the game. Physical football game. Great football game. At first, the Bills were pushing the Chiefs around. James Cook looked like the X factor to this series early on. Was getting 5, 6, 7, even 8 yards of pop. Josh Allen was making plays. I have to shout out Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce coming through again, breaking the record for most touchdowns between the duo in the playoffs. Pat Mahomes, 6 straight AFC championship as a starter. And this come through time and time again. I have a couple questions to ask, though, because we're seeing one of the best games I've seen this year. Sean McDermott calls a fake punt to Damar Hamlin. and then another call, Big Red, in the red zone on the 1 yard line, one of the biggest plays of the game. Mecole Hardman fumbled the look you gave him on the first play you tried to do to Mecole Hardman. He fumbles it. I've seen 1,000-yard rushers get benched for fumbling their first touch. You go back to him in the red zone when Pacheco's rolling, Travis Kelce's rolling, and Pat Mahomes is rolling. Couple of things in this game, but the Damar Hamlin fake punt was just absolutely egregious. I'm watching a classic game. I'm like, I can't take this. What am I looking at, bro?
So it turns out on the fake punt play, like it was
they
like
were 10 men on the field, right?
They checked to it because they were going to punt. They checked to it because the Chiefs only had 10 people on the field. So like that's fine. It's just like it's the fact that it went to Damar Hamlin. And, like,
just a meme.
I'm sorry. Like that's what makes this just so absurd. Even if like because I'm pretty sure throughout the year, I know he's barely played on defense this year, but they have had him out there on a few special teams. So I'm pretty sure like he's been in that spot on special teams at this year. But dude, if you're gonna check the fake punt 4th and 5 on your own 30 in the fourth quarter of this game to Damar Hamlin, you have to be 1,000% sure that you're going to get it. Like, it felt like a fucking Disney Channel original movie. That they were trying
the game's a classic. I'm watching and they call that play and I'm just like, wait, what the fuck is it? Wait, what the fuck am I watching? Like, yo. Like.
And dude, again, because obviously, like, people are still going to, meme this to death forever and, like, rightfully so. But it's going to get a little bit less attention because the Chiefs ended up fumbling out of the end zone on the next drive on the Hardman play. And, like, the coaching decision on that to even call that was just as maybe a higher level of malpractice than the Hamlin play. So I do think it takes a little bit of the attention off of the fake punt, but I can't wrap my brain around either of those decisions. You go to the Chiefs play, Manny, you made a great point. Hardman's first touch, he fumbled it like in the same spot. Still, they gave him. It's like what they can only give this ball. They can only give this guy the ball within the 5-yard line in like really high leverage spots. So the fact that like Pacheco marched down the field after marched down like those the last 3 plays post the Damar Hamlin busted play, and then you get cute with Mecole Hardman. I mean. It's downright insane to me, man. Especially like Andy Reid is a tremendous coach, tremendous offensive mind. The biggest flaw that he has is Eagles fans know is like the clock management. Like this isn't a decision that you would expect out of Andy Reid for that to happen. It's downright insane. So, but what a game. What a game. It's really everything that you could have asked for in terms of just the drama element of it. I'm curious on your guys' point of view on the touchback rule, because I know that's going to get a lot of going to get a lot of chatter because of the Hardman play. People have been complaining about it forever. I feel like I'm in the minority here. Like I think the rule is fine.
Perfect.
I like the rule. I like the rule as it is. And again, I'll get a little shout out to PFT commenter because I think he's like essentially been dying on this hill as everybody in sports media all the fans despise this rule. But like the counter argument is, dude, like the end zones are special places. There's different rules that apply in the end zone versus other parts of the field. If even a millimeter of the ball touches a millimeter of the white paint, it's a touchdown. Like it's just I think there has to be a penalty for not protecting the ball when you're down by the end zone there. So like the one report that came out last night was that they're really considering changing this in the offseason. And I think that would be a mistake. I really do.
I 100% agree. And you hit the nail on the head. Like, I'm going to keep it short. You're going to the most sacred part of the field. If you fumble into it, you can't get help past that. Like, you have to be punished. The 20-yard line's enough, but you can't move back to the 10, move back to the 5. No. You fumble the ball going into the end zone, take your punishment, get benched, fuck all that. Like,
I just don't understand.
They cannot change that rule.
Why do we have to feel like the minority in that? Like, I don't understand why there's more people. I guess maybe I'm naive in the argument, but like, well, I don't understand why there's more people that want that changed rather than keeping it the same.
I don't really get it. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm curious to see what the proposed change is. Like, hey, if you fumble it, like, what should happen? It's first and goal from the 3, and Hardman fumbles the ball out of the end zone. Like, what's fair? The Chiefs get the ball at the 20, and essentially like the fumble doesn't matter. Like, I just don't get it. Like they say that it's too penalizing. Okay, well then protect the fucking football in the red zone.
Yeah.
Like, because I think if that rule is changed in a way that obviously protects the offense more, then you're going to see guys that are just like pretty much at will, like dive in, stretching the ball, getting more aggressive with it, and it's like I don't think that's a solution to this.
No.
It's got to be like a turnover every time, and for people that are arguing that like it should, to your point, like protect the offense, then what's the point of trying to poke the ball loose to the goal line then? I don't understand that. I mean, to your point, protect the fucking football. It's that simple.
I'm on the same page with y'all, but 1 second, back to this fucking crazy game. I'm sorry. But first half, James Cook is mauling them. Second half, Chris Jones, Nick Bolton, Tranquil, all them boys were stuffing the trenches, and it came down to Josh Allen. And I have to give a shout out to the guy this year, because Stephon Diggs, he's getting older, ain't been a year from him. Khalil Shakir, time and time again, comes up massive for this team. 3rd and 3, end of the second half, need to have it slant, covered up by an all-pro slot corner, catches a contested catch. End of the game, go back to him again. Another huge play, big play after big play after big play for Khalil Shakir. Other thing.
Dude is a dog, by the way. When he got popped, like it sounded like his shoulder exploded on live TV. I could not believe he came back into that game and then was still making plays. He got rocked on that. It was like that underneath throw at the bottom of the screen. That was when you could just hear he was down. Even the announcers were like, oh, like that was like a bad one. And he walked off the field with his arm hanging down here. Like I for sure thought he was going to be holding his helmet the rest of the game. So what a badass dude.
Nah, certified dog. And then the other thing with the Chiefs side, like MVS making your biggest gotta have it plays of the season. Love to see it. Out of halftime making that crazy catch, and then I think it was like the 3rd down on the other side of the field. Pat Mahomes scrambling, making a crazy play, hitting MVS again. Like I was wrong in my assessment last week when I said that we're seeing how Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen have to do it by themselves. That was a terrible take, in my opinion. Like, we saw how much a supporting cast and the defense and the coaching and the nuance of football comes into play when these teams aren't the same super teams as they used to be. And it was really a joy to watch, man. Like, watching guys like Rashee Rice get some yak yards, getting banged up, come back in, making plays. Like, this was a hell of a football game. And I just hope this isn't the end of the series, because we had guys like Joe Burrow out there, Lamar Jackson adding to the series, and it's just getting started with all these guys in the AFC, and this one did not. This one was close to the best, man. It was close to the best.
MVS should have had a touchdown too.
Yeah.
Hats off to Pat Mahomes. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. Will forever be the GOAT. I mean, he just flat out missed him. That crossing route in the back corner of the end zone.
Sir.
Again, you also have to assume MVS is going to catch it, and that's
just a little bit too out of reach.
Hey, but that day though,
it's a bit of a heavy assumption. But yeah, dude, that great catch on that deep ball. And I think you're gonna see a lot more of him next game. I mean, they've been really weird with their wide receiver snaps. Like Rice plays the majority of the game, and then it's kind of a mixed bag of like MVS, Justin Watson, lately Hardman, a little bit of Richie James. Like Hardman can't see the field next game, right? I mean, there's just no way Mecole Hardman can see the field next game. So I think that means you're going to see even more MVS, and I am actually very curious to see. Do we see a little bit of Kadarius Toney next weekend?
Possibly.
I think we might. one other thing, I saw this today. I didn't have this in any plays, so I guess I wasn't focusing on this as much. But man, this has to be up there for like bad beat of the weekend. If you're a straight prop better. I don't know if you guys saw how the James Cook rushing prop played out.
Oh my God.
James Cook's rushing total was 61.5 yards. Going into the fourth quarter, he had 67. In the fourth quarter, he had 4 carries, -4, -3, 0, 1, and he finished with 61 for the under. That is that's as puke worthy as it gets. I gotta be.
And watching it, like some of those runs,
God.
he's willingly going backwards doing a couple of those runs and not getting upfield. Like if you're watching that, you have to be crying. And another last point about the game. The Chiefs are making the right decision. They're clogging the middle, stopping the run, shutting down James Cook, putting the ball in Josh Allen's hands because they know historically if you put it in his hands, he will make a mistake. What do you have? 3rd and 12, fourth quarter, 5 minutes left. Gotta have it. Josh Allen scrambles and fumbles. Whoever 27 is tried to scoop and score. Just dive on the ball. I was losing my mind. Dalton Kincaid made a big brain play too because Chris Jones was going to recover it. And instead of going for recovery, Kincaid kind of just dives on Chris Jones too. But why are we scooping and scoring? Just dive on the fucking ball. I was losing it, bro. Lost it.
Dude, and again, I feel like I started my whole point of view in this game of like you can't put it on Josh Allen. Hats off to Josh Allen. He's still a beast. But it is funny, man. Like the guy can't help himself. Like they have, like their entire offensive scheme, especially lately, has been like intentionally conservative. It's a lot more dink and dunk. Like they are essentially trying to prevent Josh Allen from making the big mistake, and it worked for them this entire game. And then it's just their last drive. It's when you just get peak Josh Allen. He decides to cut it loose a little bit, and like that's what you get.
The Chiefs should have had a pick too. I forget who it was, but tapped it. The Jerry Steed is just sitting there waiting for it to come to him on the same drive.
Oh, that was dangerously close to a pick six. Dangerously close to a pick six. Dude.
I want to give a shout out to the Kelsey Mahomes suite was rowdy as shit yesterday. Let's talk about Jason Kelsey after the loss. We knew he was going to be there. We knew he was going to be in attendance. He's out with Bills Mafia doing shots out of what it looks like a bowling ball, vibing with the fans. That was incredible. Goes into the suite, has a blast. It almost put more fuel to the fire of how many times we're going to show that suite now that Jason Kelsey's inside, dancing around with Taylor Swift. And then at the end of the game, jumping out of the suite, the athleticism out of the big fella, chugging the beer, hopping right back into the suite. What a performance from Jason Kelsey after the loss.
I love it. I love it.
You got to love it, man.
I think every single Eagles fan was loving it. I saw a couple of tweets like, yeah, I wonder how Eagles fans feel about this.
I'm saw that too.
Fucking amazing.
We're vibing for our brother. The fuck?
And I think what's cool too is like it's not all just for the camera. Like I know there's a couple of times where I'm sure he knew the camera's gonna be on him. He's doing the thing where he's just screaming, he's chugging the beer.
Yeah.
Every single time they pan to the box, even him in the background, he's slugging beers.
Yeah.
He had to have had like 18 beers last night.
The Bud Lights were flowing for sure.
Dude, everything was flowing. You Bud Lights, the Labatt's. I mean, that guy will drink anything you give to him. So. Shout out to Jason Kelsey, MVP of the game last night. We saw very little Taylor Swift, and I think people were fine with it.